Let's talk about identity. Where do you find your validation? Do you look for affirmation from those around you as they build you up? Or do you look in the mirror and reflect on how awesome you think you are? According to the Bible, there's only one place to look. Before we get there, though, let's talk about two places you might be finding your identity. Your identity is not found in your victory over sin, and it's not found in your sin. This might sound controversial, but I hope it doesn't. The truth is, God can love you no more, even if you never compared yourself to someone again, never had another lustful thought or prideful thought, or if you never snapped at your family again. If God's love for you changed by your victory over sin, that wouldn't make sense because it's not the gospel. We can add nothing to what Christ has already done. So if our identity doesn't depend on our victories, then it's safe to say that our identity doesn't depend on our failures as well. If we can add nothing to what Christ has done, then we can't take anything away from what Christ has done. And we can have the confidence that God can love us no less, even if you never got over that sin you're wrestling with. How comforting is that? But do we believe it? Here is what I'm trying to remind myself in 1 Corinthians 4, 1 and 5. This is how one should regard us, as servants of Christ and stewards of the mysteries of God. Moreover, it is required of stewards that they may be found faithful, but it is a very small thing that I should be judged by you or by any human court. In fact, I don't even judge myself, for I am not aware of anything against myself, but I am not thereby acquitted. It is the Lord who judges me. Therefore, do not pronounce judgment before the Lord comes, who will bring it to light the things now hidden in darkness, and will disclose the purposes of the heart. Then each one will receive his condemnation from God. We see Paul is striving to find his identity in what God says about him. He understands that he doesn't have the authority to judge himself based on his own successes, which he had a lot of, or his own failures, which he also had a lot of. And we are in the same boat, attributing every success and failure to our identity, but it is a trap. Every pat on the back we attribute to who we are. Every criticism we receive, we attribute to who we are. This is a dangerous trap. And the only thing that can set you free is the gospel. And the gospel tells us that through the great exchange, when Jesus gave over his righteous record and took on our sinful stain, God sees you and is pleased with you now and forever, best day or worst day. So what this means is that you are free to find your identity in God's word. This doesn't mean you shouldn't care what anyone says, but whenever someone does say something, it doesn't define us because God is the one who will have the final say. I pray that we will trust in the identity that comes with the gospel.